And gentlemen, that is simply wrong to me. That is not justice, ladies and gentlemen. I think that we should remind you all here that in pesantren, every act, ladies and gentlemen, every act carries a burden, not just legally but spiritually. Remember the Maqkn Syariah, ladies and gentlemen. Hifz ad-din, or the preservation of religion, Hifz an-nifs, al-aql, al-nasl, al-mal, and lastly al-mi'ah, which is the preservation of environment. These are the weights that constitutes an Islamic environment, including pesantren.
Ladies and gentlemen, the administrative punishment might be correct, but Sharia law awakened the heart of Islam people. Ladies and gentlemen, we have national law that are protecting our environment, ladies and gentlemen. On law number 18 of 2013, it have administrative punishment where they apply prison sentence for those who perpetrate the regulation, which is in the distance of minimum at 3 months of prison sentence and maximum at 2 years. At the same time, the perpetrator must also pay fine for at least 500,000 rupiah and 500 million rupiah. Now, to continue my statement, that this punishment aren't effective, that we afraid this punishment won't add different effects, won't add different feeling for the perpetrator, so that they keep still doing it. This motion said that this motion happened in Islamic education area. So it is indeed that everyone involved in this motion, in this point, are believe in Islam. By adding Sharia law, ladies and gentlemen, we can assure that tree cutting perpetrators get death feeling. Why? Because the perpetrator not only pay for national law fine, but they also at the same time pay twice with the Sharia law fine. So that the perpetrator of tree cutting would consider twice of what they are going to do. Even if they still violate, even if they still perpetrate the regulation of tree cutting, will have enough budget coming from the fine they paid to recover the environment destroyed.
And here are some examples of the case that show how the national law are not enough. First, in the conservation forest of the Bukit 30, a perpetrator with as initial caught by the forestry official for illegal tree cutting. He's sentenced for 1 year of prison and a 50 million rupiah fine. But after his release in the year of 2022, the same perpetrator yet again caught again for illegal tree cutting on the same place after being more further research.
Alright, thank you so much. Now the opposition team, please state your arguments. 4 minutes, starting from now.
Thank you, the honorable judges and the opposition team. I would like to ask some question about your argument, about your idea. Okay, the rebuttal is: what's the difference between tree logging in Islamic boarding school and in any other places? And one more question: why only here that the government want to be resolved? Why does the government wants to only solve the problem that in Islamic boarding school, meanwhile there is more places that tree logging has been doing? So the notice panels that the proposition team said that interruption. Said tree logging is only.
Do you want to accept?
I am interrupting you. Do you want to accept?
Yes.
You stated earlier that why should the government only care about the pesantren, but the motion read that it is specifically on Islamic bodies, Islamic Educational Institute. The motion stated so. Can you elaborate on why?
Thank you for your question. This is something that you don't need to ask again to me, but you need to explain to me. Yes, why does the government need to problemize these problems only in Islamic boarding school? Meanwhile, there is more than just one places that is tree logging happening. This is why we need to question yourself, your stances. Why does this is more priority than any other places? This is why we question your stances in this debate. But we notice that the proposition state that tree logging is harmful. Both of the side of the house agrees that illegal tree logging is harmful. We agree that protecting the environment is an important thing. But the motion asks, is it better, which one is the best way to solve the problems? Is it using the Sharia law or not? But the question is, why does we need to change something that is already regulated? We see that the regulation of tree logging isn't a problem, but the problem is at the enforcing about the problem. As we can see, the argument will read. First of all, if you still push your agenda using the Sharia law to prevent this tree logging, even though in Islamic boarding school, there will be more problem than just once. For example, is the equality before the law. in Indonesia is a plural country. If we only apply Sharia law to Islamic boarding school, meanwhile in Catholic churches or Catholic school or in public places any other else are with the administrative fines, this will create a two unequal system at the end of the day. In the Article 27 stated that every citizen of Indonesia is equal to the eye of the law. If we do this, if we still apply the Sharia law, at the end of the day, we will only discriminate those Islamic boarding schools. But the second of all, rather than just punish the violence, we need a movement. We need a movement to solve this problem. Remember, tree logging means we cut down trees. And in the KLHK data in 2023 stated shows that replanting trees programs reduce illegal logging long-term impact more effectively than just punish those perpetrators. We need a movement, not only punish those perpetrators. Even the proposition stated that these people who are being punished, when they get out of jail or they solve their punishment, they still do it again. So we don't need just a punishment, but we also need a movement to solve this problem. And the third is the risk of arbitrary. Komnas HAM stated that Sharia law sometimes used in various punishment and inconsistent of enforcement and therefore sometimes political motivated. So at the end of the day, if you still bring Sharia law, it will be risking the implementation itself of the law in the first place. Will be continued.
So we bring a better alternative, that is eco-pesantren. Kemenangan KLHK already run eco-pesantren programs, incentivizing reforestation, waste management, and green curricula. Positive incentives, not fear of gunning, with long-term culture, is aligned with Islamic values of rahmatan lil alamin, or mercy to all creation, without unjust punishment. So the impact is, with administrative law, plus eco-pesantren, we get deterrence and restoration while protecting.
Time's over.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now the opposition team, please ask a question. You have 1 minute starting from now.
Thank you for the time, judges. I will ask a question to the proposition team. Like we said, that this system will make an unequal system that happen in this country. We are a plural country. We came from a multi-religion, multicultural people. So at the end of the day, if you still put the Sharia law upon Islamic boarding school, it will start a discrimination. And what will happen with this discrimination? People will avoid Islamic boarding school. And sometimes what will happen, because the Sharia law only punish those Islamic boarding school, at the end of the day, those people who create Islamic boarding school feel this too much pressure on them, and at the end of the day, Islamic boarding school management or solution will be lesser than are today. So my question is, why push one agenda to one purpose if you can solve the bigger picture in our society, in our country, where most of tree logging not even happen in Islamic boarding school, but in our forest? Thank you.
Alright, thank you so much. Now the affirmative team, please answer the question. 2 minutes starting from now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we agree that indeed forest logging happens most of the time in forests, indeed. But ladies and gentlemen, I have to tell you something that's important. This motion stated that three Catholic educational institutions should be punished by Sharia law. That is correct. Why, ladies and gentlemen? Will it bring inequality? No, it will not bring inequality. Why? Because we are not forcing this law to Catholic schools, to Protestant schools, to Buddhism schools. No, we are not doing that. That is just simply atrocious. We have to yes, I agree with you. We are indeed a plural country. We are a multicultural country. It is indeed true. We are not forcing, ladies and gentlemen, the same law to be applied to all of them. What we are forcing here is in pesantren that green wake up call is need to be indulged in pesantrens through what? Through the Sharia law. And besides, ladies and gentlemen, Sharia law. Do you know what Sharia does? Sharia law does, ladies and gentlemen. Sharia laws told the people of Islam to be responsible. So if we cut down a tree, we plant another one. That is the Sharia law, quote-unquote, enforcement that they are trying to oppose. Is it unequal to told schools to buy 10,000 rupiah for one seed of tree? Is it unequal? Is it unequal before the law? It is not, ladies and gentlemen. And besides, we are only proposing this to Islamic boarding schools as the motion suggests, ladies and gentlemen. And will it make pressure? No. Is it pressure? Is it really that pressure for the opposition to have of the house to plant one tree. For one tree that we cut down, is it something pressure? One tree, just one tree per individual for every kid, for every tree that we cut down. Is it something pressure? Is it something unequal? No, ladies and gentlemen, it is not something unequal at all, ladies and gentlemen. Besides, ladies and gentlemen, this is for the betterment of our religion. Our religion told us specifically that we should be responsible for the actions that we do. That the sea and the land is harmed by us, ladies and gentlemen. One of which is the pesantren. Imagine this, ladies and gentlemen.
Time is over.
Thank you.